Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Travel Tech. So I kind of have a sore throat now, so my voice might not be very ideal, but in this video we are going to take a look at the two most popular dash cams from 70mai, the 70mai S500 and the 70mai A810. Now these are the most premium dash cams from the stable of 70mai, and we're going to be taking a look at the comparison of the video quality between these two cameras and even take a look at the number plate readability between these two cameras. So if you still haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead, hit that subscribe button right now and smash that like button. You're watching Travel Tech. Let's get started. Alright, so here's a comparison of a snapshot which I took during daytime. On top you can find the A810 and on the bottom you can see the S500.
Now if I zoom in on the plate of the A810, a very good read of the number plate, no noise at all. I mean, this is what the A810 is built for, and you will never be disappointed with the kind of license plate reads it can give you during daytime. Zooming out and taking a look at the S500 sample, now you can clearly see it has a mild range of blurriness, and this is due to the lesser resolution count compared to the A810's 4K resolution, but nevertheless it is working as intended and as expected for a 1944p camera, and the license plate read is pretty good in this as well. Now comparing them both side by side, on top is the A810 and on the bottom is the S500. There is more or less a very little difference between this license plate reads. I mean, both the cameras are performing more or less equally well, considering the fact that the vehicle was at a distance of about 10 to 15 feet away. Taking a look at another sample, now in this the vehicle is pretty far off. I think it's about 25 to 30 feet away, and if I zoom in, so in the case of A810, as you're seeing on the screen right now, you do get a good read of the number plate, and you also start to see some amount of blurriness because the distance is pretty high. At a distance of 25 to 30 feet with a 4K resolution, you can still catch some number plates, and that's the best thing about the A810. Trying out the same thing with the S500, now you can clearly see that the resolution count and the high distance is starting to make a difference, and the license plate readability is coming down. The top half of the number plate is sort of visible, and the bottom half of the number plate has started to become blurry. I mean, you can still read the number plate with a certain level of difficulty. Comparing the license plate read side by side, on top is the A810, which provides a very easy to read number plate at such high distance compared to the S500, where it becomes slightly difficult to read the number plate. Moving on to another instance about the same distance as the previous example, at a distance of about 25 to 30 feet, and if I zoom in on the A810 sample, a good read of the number plate. You don't have to put in any effort to read this number plate. All letters and numbers are clearly visible. If we zoom in on the S500 sample, a very similar experience as I just showed you in the previous example. The number plate starts to get a bit blurry, and you can still more or less read it with a certain level of difficulty. Now I am showing you these examples not to imply that the S500 is a bad camera. It's rather to show you that the S500 is working as expected, and this is the best video quality and best license plate readability a 1944p camera can do at such high distances. This is actually good, and this is actually performing very well considering that it's not a 4K camera and more or less is trying to reach a 4K camera level. Comparing them side by side, the 4K resolution of the A810 clearly trumps the 1944p resolution of the S500, but the S500 is still able to hold its ground considering it has a lesser resolution compared to the A810. Coming to the night footage, I'll be showing you a complete picture rather than a split screen view because of the Starvis 2 sensor in both the cameras. Now do note that the high glare coming from the opposite headlights, I've paused the video just to emphasize on that fact. And if I pause the video at a certain point and zoom in, now in this case this is a A810 camera, and this gives you a really stunning read of the number plate in spite of such high glare from the headlights of the nearest car. Now this is the power of Starvis 2 in its full effect, and you can see this clearly in this particular example. Zooming out, and let's move on a bit further in the video. Now you can see there's another glare of headlights coming right at my car, and if I pause the video and zoom in, now this is even more impressive. Main reason, the number plate size is even smaller than the previous example which I showed you, and the glare of the headlights is even higher than the car which just passed. Now, in spite of having these two odds, the A810 is able to perform exceptionally well, and you still get a very good read of this number plate. You can make out all the letters and the numbers. Now, this is the true power of a 4K resolution camera combined with a Starvis2 sensor in its full effect. Trying out the same thing with the S500. Now let me just pause the video and point out certain things. Now I paused this video at the same point where I had paused for the A810's video. Now there are two things to consider. The glare of the headlights coming towards this camera, you can notice that glare straight away, and which was kind of similar to what we saw in the A810 sample. You can actually see the A810 camera at the right edge of this screen right now because that's where it was mounted during this ride. Now the second point to note is that you can see a lot of dust and dirt on my windshield from the left top corner, more or less taking up half the screen space. Now this is something which you will need to keep in mind because the S500 is a mirror camera. It will catch everything which is right on the windshield. So if your windshield has a lot of dust and dirt and you haven't cleaned it properly, and if the wipers of your front windshield are not clean, they might create some streaks on the windshield as well, as you're seeing right now. So all this will be visible in the mirror cameras because they are mounted right behind the windshield. So this is something which you should be considered before buying a mirror dash cam. You should put in that extra effort to keep your windshield always clean in order to get the best footage. So moving on to show you the license plate readability at the same point where I had shown you in the case for the A810. This is good. I mean, this is really good. The Starvis2 in the S500 is working well, although it lacks a 4K resolution, hence you might see some blurriness, but the overall readability of the number plate is really good in spite of having the high glare hitting the camera directly. Let's move on and show you the second car which I had shown you in the A810 sample because it had a higher glare and a smaller sized number plate. If we move on in the video and pause at the same point where I had done for the A810 and zoom in. So 4 important things to consider: the high glare from the headlights, the small sized number plate, the lesser resolution count compared to the 4K resolution, and the dust and dirt on the windshield. All these aspects come together in this particular example and bring down the number plate readability, wherein you saw just a moment ago that the A810 was able to catch this number plate. Now putting in the number plate reads of this night sample side by side, on top is the A810, on the bottom is the S500. I mean, the S500 is performing as expected. There is nothing wrong with this, and the 1944p resolution is trying its best to match a 4K resolution. So on top, the 4K resolution camera of the A810 is simply stunning. I mean, you really cannot get a better dash camera under the price bracket of 20,000 other than the A810. If we compare the second car's license plate read, now as you can see, the A810 simply outclasses the S500 in this particular example, and I specified the 4 different reasons why the S500 falls short in this specific example, wherein the A810, due to its direct windshield mount and a higher 4K resolution, is able to give you a better result. Coming to the overall video footage quality comparison, on top you find the A810 with its 4K 3840 x 2160p resolution with a 30 fps frame rate. It has about 31,000 kbps of bitrate and a 252 MB per minute of file size. On the bottom you find the S500 with its 2592 x 1944p resolution at a similar 30 frames per second, about 24,000 kbps bitrate and a 174 MB per minute file size. Now in both examples you can clearly make out that the A810 gives off a very cool tone, wherein the S500 gives off a warm tone. Except for that one aspect, you won't be able to make out any difference with your naked eyes unless you move on and zoom in on any specific aspects of the video. Both the video footages look pretty much the same, although I can say that the A810 provides a slightly higher field of view compared to the S500. Now in the night sample, you really cannot see the warm tone or the yellow tint of the S500. I mean, both the footages look pretty much the same, but in terms of the overall quality, certain areas of the S500 footage look darker compared to the A810 sample, but there isn't any drastic difference which you can make out in these.
So by looking at this comparison, it's quite evident that the more pricier A810 with a more bumped up resolution of 4K tends to perform marginally better when you compare it with the S500. But what works in the favor of the S500 is that it gets a large display, you get a reverse view, and a lot of other super cool features which the A810 might be lacking. So if you are someone who is specifically looking for a reverse view camera, who prefers a large display, who prefers to have the front and the rear view being shown on the screen all the time, the 70mai S500 working right up to the level of the A810 might just be the right dash camera for you. But if you're someone who prefers the top-notch video quality that's available in the market, not specifically requiring a large display, not specifically requiring the need to take a look at the display, the A810 4K is the perfect choice for you. So no matter which of these two dash cams you intend to buy, the purchase links will be provided in the description below. Go ahead, click on the link, grab this dash cams right away. I'll also provide you the links for the compatible memory cards as well. That being said, if this video has helped you out in any way, go ahead, hit that subscribe button right now, smash that like button, and also don't go away without hitting the bell icon so that you get notified each time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching and hopefully see you with a better throat.